almost beat the Eagles. You almost beat the Dolphins. Like, no. Dallas is right for the taking.
Yeah.
Enough screwing around.
And we almost lost
We
to the
need to win
Jets.
this game.
Welcome back.
Thanks, Jackson. You're right. Welcome back to the Old Bull and Young Calf Boston Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Matt, and I'm here with my dad, Steve. And despite our wishes, the Patriots did decide to screw around and not win that game last week. We're going to touch on that and a few other things. Dad, you want to hit on the 5 things we're going to have for them today?
Yeah, well, we're done screwing around. Okay, we're going to start focusing on the only winner in town, okay? And put less, time into the losers like the Patriots. And we're going to focus on the NBA rankings. And our Boston Celtics did it again. Brad Stevens, man, what a GM. All right. The only guy in town who just doesn't give AF, as the kids say, and he is going for it. We're going to touch on the Celtics and the big trade they just made and where their roster ranks with other ones. Then we're not going to even really talk about the Dallas game. I am just going to give you a long rant on Bill Belichick and let you know how I feel about him and some of the Super Bowls he has cost us over the years and the state of the team and why he is the cause of it. We are going to give some quick thoughts on the upcoming Saints game. And, we're also going to have our betting segment, see how our expert did last week and who he likes this week. And of course, we're going to end our segment with the 90-50-10, what we feel like has a 90% chance of happening, a 50% chance of happening, and 10% chance happening of the upcoming Patriots game against the Saints. So start us off, Matt.
All righty. Okay. So right off the bat, my dad touched on this NBA rankings, and we are going to try and focus a bit on the Celtics. Like my dad said, Patriots been pretty rough, and Brad Stevens is doing stuff Ainge never did, right? He's not hoarding picks. He's trying to win now. Big fan of what he's doing. And the problem is that even though he did what he did, people, the pundits, ESPN, people are parroting this idea that we don't have depth and this is going to kill us. And the reality is, if Giannis goes down, the Bucks suck, right? If Porzingis goes down, sure, we're going to suck. If Embiid goes down, the 76ers suck. You can't say, oh, they're one injury away, because pretty much every team in the league is one injury away from either not making the playoffs or an early exit.
One quick point on the trade. What I really love about it is what has plagued us the most over the last 3 years and has stopped us from winning championships are the offense. It just falls apart in the last 4 minutes of the game. It just is a disaster at the worst possible time, and those days are over now. I think bringing Porzingis in was going to fix that, but now you have Drew Holiday in here, who is a legit point guard, ballsy player, not afraid of the moment. You have 4-star level scorers. There is no way with Marcus Smart out of here and jacking up shots because he's open, because who wants to cover him? With those 4 guys, those offensive woes in the last 4 minutes of the game, that those are gone, absolutely gone. And I cannot wait for this season to start. And just please, baby Jesus, no injuries.
Dear tiny infant Jesus.
Hey, sweetie, Jesus did grow up. You don't always have to call him baby.
So what we're going to do is on the screen here, we have the Bucks, Heat, 76ers, and the Celtics. We're going to rank where each player in the top 7 or 8, or I'm sorry, 8 or 9 on these rosters falls in a tier list. And we're going to see, the Celtics might be top heavy, but the other teams might be bottom heavy. So we're going to go through this list kind of quick here, maybe expand on some of the, more hyped people. But first off, we'll go with the Celtics, and we'll put the Celtics where we feel they belong on this chart. So right off the bat, we'll start off with best player on the team, Jason Tatum. I believe he's up there in S tier. Would you agree, Dad?
Yes, he's on the highest one there is.
Yep, and I think we might have a couple more guys up in that tier as we continue to talk. probably move on to second best guy on the team, arguably. I know Porzingis is coming in. It might change, but I think JB is probably A tier. Do you agree? Maybe S tier? What do you think?
No, he's top tier.
S tier. I can dig it.
As
I
far
can
as
dig
I'm
it.
as far as I'm concerned, if you're in the top 25 in the league, you're in the top tier.
Yeah, and I think last year Porzingis did not make All NBA, so he did have a wonderful season with the Wizards. Do you think that makes him break into the S tier?
Oh, he is like just outside. I mean,
Yeah.
second tier.
Bring me down to
Man,
earth,
is he
old
he
bull.
is
Okay.
closer to first after the season he had last year. I mean, he was
Yeah.
24 points a game. He's close to Jalen Brown.
Yep.
Almost double digits in rebounds, 1.5 blocks a game. His assists were up. Man, he might not be in the top 25, but he's on the cusp.
Yep. Now the next guy who was an all-star last year, I believe it was a refill though from someone being injured. Drew Holiday. I feel like he deserves A tier as well.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yep.
he's not far behind, and
Um,
his defense factors in. Forget his numbers are still good, 20 points a game, over 7 assists. But man, that guy, when the money's on the line, he is a pest. That guy
yeah.
is just like we were saying Jackson was in his little basketball game. That guy is
Yeah.
Velcro. He sticks to people,
Yep.
and I am so glad we don't have to play against him anymore. Now we get to stick him on Damian Lillard and anyone else
Yeah.
who wants to try to play point
Jimmy
guard against
Butler,
us.
all those guys. Now,
Yeah.
Derek White, I think he's fringe. I think he's probably B. The green teamer in me wants to say A, but I'm okay with saying B if that's where you think he should be.
He's definitely not with Porzingis. No, 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 no. Yeah,
All right, I'll put him B, but
that's where
that
he belongs.
means
Yeah.
don't you try and put, Kevin Love in B tier with him because B tier just became very competitive to me. Horford,
Yeah.
uh, with his
Horford
age,
one below that.
yeah, I think he's
Yep.
got to be C tier. And then
Yeah.
Pritchard and Hauser, probably D tier.
You're on the bottom. Yes.
Yeah,
Although I do believe that Hauser's going to be sneaky good.
yeah.
He really surprised with his defense last year. And, we
I'm
know
gonna
what he
put
can
him
do when
C
he's
tier.
open from three.
I'm gonna put him
What?
C tier because here's the thing: if I put him D tier, there's a lot of guys on these other teams that D tier is gonna be freaking stacked. You know what I mean? So, I
I don't,
mean,
he might be ready. Really, what he needed to work on in the offseason is driving to the hoop. He had no game going to the hoop. That's what he really needed to work on. I mean, if he added that to his game, he's going to be that tier. But I can't. I don't
all
know.
right,
I got
we'll
him
we'll
down at
we'll,
that
we'll
bottom
keep
tier
him D
still.
tier. Yeah, it's tough. It's gonna get weird here. So Giannis. Okay, so now we're gonna move into the other teams, right? And we'll put them all up here. We'll take a picture. I'll probably overlay it at the end, and then we'll take them down at the after. So Giannis, of course, clears day, S tier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damian Lillard, S tier,
Yep.
right?
Oh,
So
yep.
I think us and yeah, us and the Bucks are probably going to be the only two teams with two S tiers. Um, after
Middleton.
that,
He goes
Middleton,
next tier.
A tier.
No, no,
Yeah,
no.
against
Yeah.
yeah,
Hey, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah. I feel like against us he's A tier, but I don't know. I'm not super high on him. Lopez, I would say B tier, or because of what
Nope.
he.
I would put him with Horford.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Portis.
his three pointing is dropped. He is still a presence in the paint, defending the lane, but
Yeah,
yeah, his 3 point is dropped.
defensive player of the
I
year
would definitely
candidate
put him
last
in
year
that.
too. Portis, I think C or
Yeah,
maybe D.
no, Portis is. Oh man, he's so inconsistent. But man, when he gets fired sometimes,
Yeah.
uh,
I guess the question
yeah,
is,
I guess I put him.
out of these four guys, one of them has to be C tier. Malik Beasley, Pat Connaughton, Jay Crowder, and Bobby Portis. Who's the best player out of these four?
No, Portis is the best out of those.
All
Put him
right.
up there. The rest of them are on the bottom.
All right, and that's how it stacks up. And I mean, right here we have, they have three people in tiers S through B, and here we are with our entire starting five up there. So I understand everyone's poo-pooing the depth, but at least when it comes to the Bucks, I think we are overall the better team, without a doubt. And this isn't even
We're
including a lot of the
definitely,
guys we added
yeah.
this season. So now I'm going to move all these guys back down. I keep thinking Drew's on the Bucks. I'm so glad he's on our team though. All right, next up is the Heat. The Heat, they go to 24-hour fitness and just pick up random guys, and they just end up shooting 45% from three. So Jimmy Butler,
No, just
S
against
tier.
us, not against
Yeah,
really anyone else, just against us.
Jimmy Butler, S tier,
Yeah, he's in the top,
especially in
especially in
come
playoff
playoffs.
time.
Then this is
Yeah,
what we're really talking about here. Is we're talking about those trimmed down rotations, and what people understand
right.
is when you get into the playoffs, it's your top 7 or 8 guys, and that's it.
That's it.
Um, so
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, A tier. Yeah.
A tier, yep.
Yep.
He doesn't belong in the
Um,
top. No.
I mean, their next best player. Who do you got here as the next best player? Hero?
I would put Hero. Uh, I, his
I don't.
defense is
He's not as
terrible.
good as
He can
Derek White.
score. He goes with no. You got to put him on the same tier as Derek White. He is a better offensive player. He just
All
is.
right.
His
All right.
defense can't touch Derek White's, but he is a better offensive player. So I feel like that evens out.
I feel like Lowry has to be C tier with Horford, right? Vet brings some stuff to the
He's
table.
old. He doesn't bring very much anymore. So, but he does show flashes. So yeah, that tier.
Kevin Love, D tier. Duncan
Bottom.
Robinson,
Yep.
bottoms. This
Uh,
new guy, Jovic. He's their rookie sensation, whatever. D tier. Josh Richardson, again, another end of the bench guy, right? He sucked for us. He went to San Antonio. He had a decently high shooting percentage, but I don't think he's as good as Lowry or Horford.
yeah. And who's it? Who's the last guy?
Caleb Martin.
I
Against
put
us, he's up
him.
here.
I put him on C. I know, but you got to put. I put him on C. I think they're gonna highlight him more, and they're gonna use him more. And I think he's gonna be at least a player, at least with the Horfords and yeah,
So there you
Lowry.
have it. All you haters out there, all you people who are just parroting what those pundits say, look at that. Look at that ranking right there, those tiers. Which team would you rather have? Yeah, sure, you got freaking 4 guys down here from the local Planet Fitness, but it doesn't matter, right? Having 4D, I'd rather have one more A player tier than 4D players. So we're gonna move them back down. And then we're going to go right to the 76ers. Man, I was looking at the 76ers roster, and it is thin. I didn't even put Harden on here because he just does not want to play for this team. I don't think he's going to dribble the ball in a 76ers uniform ever again. So Embiid, S tier.
Yep.
Harris, I don't think
Harris
he's A
is
tier.
White with White.
Yep.
Yep.
Maxey, I think Maxey's also.
Maxi, no, I think he's close to top 50. I put him in the up.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
Especially if Harden doesn't play.
Yeah.
Max is going to get a lot of shots. He's going to get points. He's a good player.
All right, we'll go to the next easiest one. PJ
Yep.
Tucker's probably C tier, right? Like with
No,
Horford.
no, he's
Yep.
garbage. Get
You
him
don't think so?
down.
All right, all
No,
right. I'm down. I'm. You don't
garbage.
have to
Out of
push me
here with
over
his
to
stupid 2 or 3 corner threes a game and his overrated defense. Give me a break with that.
Beverley. What do you think he's bringing to this team? C or D?
Beverly, no, Beverly is C.
C.
He's
All
not
right.
D. Beverly can still. He's a pest.
Oubre. I feel
He
like is
has his
another
moments.
Oubre.
I think Mouber's C.
All right.
He's kind of a guy I was hoping the Celtics would get, but didn't work out.
Uh, dude, one of these guys is Paul Reed, and the other one I forget what's his name. Paul Reed and Shake Melton or whatever. Man, that
Yeah,
guy.
he's streaky.
So Shake
I mean,
Melton, I feel like,
they're both on the D's, yeah.
and
So
that's it. Once again, these teams, they're very balanced in the way that they have a lot of, end of the bench sort of guys that wouldn't probably get any minutes for the Celtics in the playoff rotation. But the Celtics just, are a better team. And I'm really excited to see what we can bring to the table. I know we have a lot of exciting new guys that we brought in, and like O'Shea and Danlon and the other guy, Walsh. I'm really excited to see what Walsh can do in our lineup during the regular season. So super excited for the Celtics this season. Any comments, Dad, on this, depth issue, what this trade means for the Celtics?
I mean, it is an issue right now, but I mean, Brad Stevens still has a $6 million trade exception. Um, any veteran big man out there, I mean, I would hope, Boston would be at the top of their list. They need one more guy that can rotate in, take the place of Rob Williams, maybe not do the same exact things, but they need someone to rotate in with Horford and Porzingis. Horford's minutes have to stay down. And but we saw what him and Tatum looked like at the end of the year. They were both gassed. Horford just hit a brick wall. Tatum 2 years in a row where he just looked like so tired, just so beat at the end of the year, and chasing that MVP. Got to get his minutes down too, and lack of power forward. He's gonna have to fill in there. So I'm a little concerned about that as well.
Yep.
But Brad Stevens going for it. So he's going to get one more big man in here. That's going to be he's probably going to give some of these other guys a shot. And if they don't cut it, if they're not playoff rotation worthy, he'll get somebody in here. I have faith in him. He's the only
I don't
one.
know if,
He's the only one in Boston.
Yep, and I don't know if you saw that today they signed 7'1" guy from the Lakers. He led the FIBA World Cup in blocks. His name is Wenyen Gabriel. He actually went to high
He's got a
school
7'1".
wingspan. 7'1" wingspan. I don't know what his.
Yeah.
Oh, he's 6'9", 7'1" wingspan. So he's one of those guys. So they did sign him. Hopefully, like you said, they bring in another body. So, yeah, excited for the Celtics season.
No.
And you're sure you guys are going to hear more and more about the Celtics throughout this, on our podcast. Number 2, my dad is going to lose his voice. He's going to be yelling so loud. But Dad, what do you get on your soapbox? What do you got?
I'm not going to yell. Okay. I'm just, the proof is already out there. Everyone already knows it was way more Brady than Belichick. Whatever percentage you want to put on it, who the heck cares? But the debacle of this year, it comes down to two people. All right. And one of them is obvious. We know it's Belichick, but the twist is the second guy. And this guy is not getting anywhere near enough blame. And of course, that stems from Belichick because, it's his decision to have everybody here who is here. So, but, Belichick is so overrated. It is so obvious now. Forget the record with, with or without Brady. Helped contribute to winning a couple Super Bowls, but he's also cost us some Super Bowls. There's some itches I've always wanted to scratch over the years. Not signing Deion Branch cost us 2006 Super Bowl. Okay, we had a 21-3 lead at Indianapolis at halftime, and we just ran out of gas. If we have Deion Branch in that game, there's no way they come back and beat us and go beat a trashy Chicago Bears Super Bowl team. That's the Super Bowl we should have won. Okay, Super Bowl 2011 against the Giants. I mean, if we don't let Asante Samuel leave, we're going to win that Super Bowl. I mean, I know Welker had the big drop, but our defense was absolute garbage. Belichick actually did a good job that year coaching our defense up because it was not good. I don't know if you remember who our cornerbacks were, but they were a bunch of bums. If we actually had Asante Samuel, even though he's the biggest reason why we lost 2007, the undefeated season with that easy interception he dropped. But if we still have him, we win that 2011 Super Bowl. But no, Belichick didn't want to pay him either. That 10-year stretch we won without a Super Bowl. I believe that we probably squeak another one or two in there if he put his ego aside and just brought back Romeo Crennel or Charlie Weiss. But no, he didn't want to do that because he was afraid that if he went back to starting to win Super Bowls, people would have started to say, well, you know what? Belichick hasn't won one without Crennel or without Weiss. They left, he couldn't win, and then they came back and started winning again. So no, his ego got in the way there, as well. So we didn't win that one. And then there was also the 2015 season, okay, where people forget this, but Belichick was dicking around at the end of the year. All right. He had that Eagles game where we had at home, Eagles were trash, and we were up by 2 touchdowns. And then he decided to do this weird drop onside kick, gave the Eagles the ball. It just kind of set them off. Like now you're just trying to rub it in. You're up by 2 touchdowns and you're doing these crazy onside kicks. And they went down, they scored an immediate touchdown, they got the momentum, and we ended up losing that game. And that was all. He deferred in overtime to the Jets. That was back before the old rules. He just gave the Jets the ball. They went down, kicked the field goal, won the game. Okay. And then the last game against Miami, he decided Brady was not going to throw a pass until they ran for a first down. That was when they tried to get Steven Jackson some weird action. They went in with obviously no game plan, and they lost. The reason why I mention this is if they win one of those games, then the Patriots have home field advantage. They don't have to go to Denver where Brady almost get his head decapitated. Okay. And the offensive line couldn't hear the snap count. And with a Herculean effort by Gronk, Edelman, and Brady, they still were a 2-point conversion away from sending that to overtime. But the point is, if that game's at home, if they win one of those 3 regular season games, and that game's in Foxborough, there's no way the Broncos would have beat up old Peyton Manning, beat us, and we go on. Of course, we beat Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. Cost us that Super Bowl, cost us the chance to be the first team to three-peat in a row. We would have won 14 against the Seahawks, 15 against the Carolina Panthers, and 16, of course, against the Falcons. And then there's 2017. We went back to the Super Bowl, and we all know about Malcolm Butler and that moron benching Malcolm Butler, not just benching him, but when it was so clear and obvious, Nick Foles was tearing us apart with that offense. He doesn't even give him a try, doesn't even bring him in to see if he can any factor whatsoever. We still to this day don't really know why. I don't give a crap what it was. I don't care if he was late to the hotel, caught doing pot. I don't give a who cares about that? All right, I'm doing the best I can not to swear. All right, cost us that Super Bowl, and guess what? We would have 5-peated because we went on to win the Super Bowl the next year. Okay, we could have been the first team to win 5 Super Bowls, but no, Belichick's ego, gets in the way of that. And then the most egregious of them all, letting Tom Brady walk. Letting Tom Brady walk. We think we suffered with the curse of the Bambino. Let's hope that the curse of Tom Brady doesn't come back to bite the Patriots. Hopefully it doesn't affect all of Boston sports because it feels like ever since Brady left, everything's gone to crap. All right, the Bruins last year, what the hell was that? Greatest regular season of all time to get ousted in the first round. The Celtics, they've had 3 years in a row where their roster's been championship worthy, and every year something. So hopefully Belichick hasn't set back the entire city of Boston as far as championships go, because I don't know. And, what else is there? Thank you, Belichick, for all that. And, there's other things that I just can't stand. All right. Over the last 5 years, constantly drafting guys where all the experts are like, what? I had this guy going 2, 3, 4 rounds later. I mean, it's absolute insanity. It started with Sony Michel, Duke Dawson, Joe Juwan Williams, Josh Uche, Alfred Jennings, Devin Asiasi, Dalton Keene, Cole Strange, Tyquan Thornton. I mean, these are all guys that were projected to go 2 to 4 rounds later. And instead, he just keeps passing up wide receivers, passing up real talent. And that's why this roster is where it is. It's disgusting. And he just gets away with it every year. And then here's his latest crime. All right. that this guy is not, again, he's going to bring in one of his guys, okay? Adrian Clem, this bum, okay? You might as well brought Matt Patricia back to coach the offensive line. Just again, another guy, Belichick guy, first guy he ever drafted, Adrian Clem. The Patriots have drafted 6 offensive linemen in the last 2 years. 6. Adrian Clem comes in. Did one of them come out of camp starter worthy? What is he coaching? Owenu has taken a step backwards. Strange has taken a step backwards. It feels like everybody except Andrews has gotten worse. He's out of 6 guys drafted in the last 2 years, not one of them has come away a respectable starter. I mean, and the offensive line is getting progressively worse. This is why this season is down the tubes, is the offensive line. And everyone wants to ship Mac Jones out of town. That's fine. Whatever. I'm working on a project to show everybody that it is not Mac Jones. It's just not him. Anyone who knows football knows you can't do anything on offense if you can't pass block and run block. It doesn't matter if Tom Brady was here, Randy Moss was here, Corey Dillon was here. I'm not saying the Patriots would be 1-3 if those guys were here, but I'm telling you now, they'd be 2-2 because you can't do anything when your offensive line can't do anything. So, I mean, I just want him out of here. If this season is going to go down the crapper, just please go down like in a huge ball of flames. I want the record to be so bad. We get a high pick. Belichick has to get fired, and we just start the hell over.
Yep.
End of rant.
All right. You heard it here first. Steve hates Bill Belichick. So a very impassioned rant by my dad, and I agree. And I think specifically, you mentioned Clem, you mentioned the line, and you're not winning anything in the NFL if you're not winning in the trenches. And you see that at all levels of football. You got to be able to win in the trenches. If your quarterback, no matter how good he is, if he doesn't have time, doesn't matter. If he sucks and he has a ton of time, he'll look great. So, the numbers tell that story for pretty much every quarterback in existence, right? Under pressure, not under pressure. How do they fare? Some are a little better under pressure, but none of them excel under pressure. They would rather have a clean pocket, and the Patriots just aren't providing that. I'm sure my dad will highlight that, and maybe the next podcast we'll be able to touch on the collapsing pocket, which is just seemingly perpetual. Yeah, I think that moves us on to number 3. Number 3. So, thoughts on the Saints? The Saints. The Patriots are just rotating between the best defenses in the league. Saints are up there in a similar ranking. So I'm not super excited for this game. I feel like our best chance to put points on the board was against the Cowboys. We'll see how we fare against the Saints. They have a decent pass rush. They have a good defensive backfield. I know they have Lattimore. I'm sure he'll be a blanket on all of our wide receivers or whoever he chooses. Very nervous about this game. These are the games we need to start winning. We'll see if we can make it happen. What do you think?
I mean, what is the over-under for this game? 14? Is it 14 points for both teams? It's just both teams are terrible offensively. I mean, the Patriots just lost their 2 best defensive players. They do, have probably a couple cornerbacks coming back. Hopefully White could maybe go for Uche. Jennings, he's like a poor man's Judon, I guess. I mean, so I don't think the defense is going to fall off quite as much as some people think with those 2 out. As long as Jonathan Jones finally gets in the game and Jack Jones is back.
Jack Jones is 100% back. He tweeted, somebody said, when he coming back? He said ASAP. So Jack Jones will be in the lineup if they allow him to, week 5.
Yeah, I mean, they're supposed to have Thornton back. Who the hell knows what he's going to do? I mean, he's going to pull his hamstring in the first 8 minutes. It's just so difficult. I mean, they could win the next 2 games. The next 2 games are winnable, and then we're 3-3, exactly where I said they would be. But it's just, I counted on the offensive line getting better, and it's getting worse. And all hope is gone unless that somehow miraculously turns around. Robert Kraft should give like Skarnecki $1 million to come in and just coach for 1 week and let that clown Clem just take notes. Say, hey, listen, kid, just everything I'm telling these guys to do, just write it down and keep repeating it to them. It's just the whole thing is just so discouraging, and I don't know. I
Yep.
just I don't even want to talk about it.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. This podcast becomes increasingly somber as we get deeper and deeper into the Patriots section of it. We'll see how that goes, and see how it turns out next week. So we could,
We're on Planet Bullshit. Thank you.
yeah.
Planet Bullshit. Yes.
And all right, we'll move on to number 4, our bets. Now, our betting expert sent me 3 bets. He wasn't sure which one it should be. He was right last week, so let's spike the ball for him. Right now, he was right with the Jaguars, winning over the Falcons. I forget what the differential that was there, or the spread. I'm sorry.
He won by quite a bit, though. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He won that one
Yeah.
easy. Yeah.
All right, so he gave me 3. I'll let you know. I'll have up on the screen what his lock is when I edit this. But he has the Titans and Colts going under 42.5. That's one of his 3. He also has the Dolphins over the Giants, -11 is the spread. And then he has, and this one's why I can't even believe he's touching this game. But he did mention the Cowboys and 49ers. The 49ers over the Cowboys, -4. So I'm surprised he's even touching that game. But those are his 3. I'll let you know what his lock is when I edit this. Any thoughts on those bets, Dad?
I mean, hey, why not with Purdy? I mean, look what happens when you protect your quarterback with a great offensive line and you get guys who get open.
Yep.
Some stiff. I mean, might as well call him Matthew Purdy. All right, just drop him back.
Uncle Rico.
Watch this. What the heck are you doing?
That's what I'm talking about.
Rico.
I mean, he's got all day. He's having a cup of tea back there, and oh look, there's Deebo Samuel. Oh, he's wide open again. Like you know.
Look, it's Ayuk.
Meanwhile, we're just gonna
butcher
Butcher Jones.
Okay. Oh, look, it's Christian
he's
McCaffrey.
Got a guy in his face. Yeah. Oh, Christian McCaffrey. Oh, look.
Yeah, just hurtling
he's
over.
Open again in the flat.
Yeah, hurtling over guys. Like I don't know if you saw a touchdown. So yeah, those are his picks. So last up, number 5, and this is where we show that we really have no freaking clue, and our hearts are what runs this segment over our brains. But I think that's changing this week. My brain's doing the 90-50-10. I didn't even look at our 90-50-10s for last week because it's not even worth it. That was such a wash of a game. Neither of us had that game going remotely that way. So my 90 for the game is that neither team will score more than 23 points on offense. And I say that because neither team has scored more than 20 points this season. The Patriots and the Saints have both scored 20 points once. Other than that, nothing. These are 2 solid defenses. I don't see either team getting over 23. I don't think this is a offensive breakout game for either. I think there's a high likelihood it's a low-scoring game. What do you got?
I have a 90% chance that Mac Jones totals getting sacked and intercepted 5 times.
Oof.
Whether it's sacked 4 times with 1 interception, sacked twice with 3 interceptions, the sacks he takes and the interceptions are going to total at least 5.
That's 90% chance. 90% chance.
Yes.
And now just for the record, I did tell the old bull to go negative with his 90, and I didn't expect him to go that negative. I mean, I wouldn't even tell that story to Jackson at bedtime because he might stay up because that's a bit scary. That's a nightmare scenario. My 50 is the Patriots give up 3 sacks. I didn't, of course, you're much lower on the offensive. Like I think our offensive line is bad, but 3 sacks is kind of a lot. I think once it gets up to 2 or 3, the offensive scheme changes. It hurts us, not in a good way, but I think they end up, preventing anything over 3 sacks. What's your 50?
My 50 is the defense still holds the Saints under 20 points because
The
the
defense.
coin flip chance of that the defense does. Yeah. I don't think they're going to completely fall off the cliff. I still think at home they hold the Saints to under 20 points.
Now, really curious, how many points do you think they hold them on full drives, not starting in our zone? Is that still 20?
Oh, I didn't even take into consideration like we
I'm
turn the
just curious.
ball. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. The defense will not give up three touchdowns. That's basically it. So I
Yeah.
mean, if Mac Jones has another pick six fumble, I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You know, he's got guys chasing him down from behind because the right tackle didn't even touch the guy and
Yeah.
getting his face driven into the ground. And, people want to blame that, on him. So
Yep.
what are you going to do? That one interception across his body was absolutely terrible, disgusting. But,
Got
he's
caught.
desperate. He's literally running backwards the whole game. Because,
Yep.
the offensive line is trash.
Yep. So we'll
Yep.
move on. Next one, 10%. I have two kind of negative of my 90-50. I'll go positive here. I think there's a 10% chance the Patriots score more than 35 points this game.
Yeah, that's funny. 10% chance the Patriots offense breaks out.
Yeah.
If this was 90-52,
probably be the same.
that would be the same, like 2%. Yeah, like the
Yeah.
milk. It's
90-50
ridiculous.
dreaming. Yeah. Whatever
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
So
No.
that's the podcast.
Don't worry, people. The Celtics are coming, and I don't want to hear about the Bruins. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to score goals this year, but the defense is going to be good. The goaltend's going to be good. They'll make the playoffs because of it. But I don't know. Unless Don Sweeney with no assets can somehow get some scoring in here, I just don't. I don't know what they're going to do after Marchand and Pasternak.
Yep. Well, that's the podcast. We should have started with the Celtic stuff first because I just feel sad. Man, talking about the Patriots sucks. But
yeah, we'll start touching on the Bruins soon. Hopefully the Patriots turn the year around, and hey, the Celtics, they're the show in town.
A lot to be excited
about. You don't
about.
like basketball? Yeah. If you're not a big basketball guy, try to get on that bandwagon because injuries are the only thing that is stopping that team from winning the championship. Absolutely. Yep.
All right. That's our 37-minute podcast. Very long. Probably around that time. Thanks for everybody who tuned in, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, folks.
I don't know where to begin. We are